Getting a fair cash offer when you're selling your house in Central Ohio or in Columbus, Ohio. That's what we're talking about in today's video. What's up, everyone? My name is Dave Perichin, and for over 14 years, my team and I have been buying houses in and around Columbus, Ohio, all throughout Central Ohio, and all throughout the great state of Ohio. And one of the most common questions that I get is, how do you know that the offer that you're getting, a cash offer for your house, how do you know if it's fair? Well, the best way to look at this is to compare a fair cash offer, or to compare a cash offer versus what you would be netting if you marketed, listed, and sold the house using a real estate agent. So let's look at that. If you list your house with an agent, and I'm not here to say real estate agents are bad, they do a phenomenal job. I work with many different real estate agents, but it's for a certain type of transaction. It's for a certain type of situation. Oftentimes, the person who's going to want to use a realtor or a real estate agent, they have plenty of time, so there's no urgency with the timeline, or maybe the house is in pristine condition, they can do open houses, and they're really going to go for that full retail price. That's what you're going to get with a realtor. Also, what you're going to get with a realtor, there is, of course, commissions on average. If you're selling a property, you're looking at 6% of the sales price right off the top. Sometimes, not sometimes, most times, the buyer of that particular property, they're using a loan or they're using a mortgage company. So that's going to take longer than a cash offer, which we'll be talking about in just a second. But time is money with real estate. You got to add it up, because every single day that we're waiting for this buyer's approval, every single day that we're waiting for this buyer to close, you're still paying the insurance, you're still paying the property taxes, you're still paying for utilities, etc. If you staged the property in that retail type of situation, every day that goes by, you're paying for staging, if that's something that you did. And we've already talked about the commissions. We've already talked about a buyer who's using a traditional type of loan. Now, with this type of buyer, they may ask you to contribute to what is called a request to remedy. So this type of buyer, remember, it's not necessarily an as-is deal here when you're working with a realtor. They may want you to take a little bit off the price there, and or maybe fix a couple things, and because this particular buyer, they're going to get a thorough inspection done. They're going to send this inspector through there who's going to basically test every single outlet, test every single light switch, every single ceiling fan. It's a very intrusive and thorough type of inspection that you may need to chip in, right? And that's more money off your bottom line to fulfill this inspection report or an appraisal. So if this buyer is using a traditional mortgage or a bank loan, they're going to get an appraisal, and sometimes the bank that ordered that appraisal requests you, the seller, to contribute and actually make some repairs before they're willing to fund the buyer and actually close out the transactions. So you got to factor all this in when it comes to more of a retail type of transaction. The alternative is working with a cash buyer like us who's going to buy the house in its as-is condition. Is the offer from a cash buyer going to be less than a full retail gross price here with a realtor? More than likely, yes, right? However, when you back out all of the costs involved with a traditional sale, more than likely you're getting start to close now to what this cash offer is. That's our goal. When we buy houses all over Ohio, it's always going to be a cash offer, and there's no closing costs for you. There's no realtor commissions for you. We can close on your timeline. So if you want to close quickly, that's going to eliminate these holding costs and utilities and property taxes, insurance, etc. So there's a lot less costs when working with a direct cash buyer like us. And when you kind of weigh out the pros and cons, oftentimes, many times, especially if the house needs a lot of work, especially if the house needs a lot of repairs and stuff like that, the best thing to do is work with a cash buyer like us, because we're going to buy it in its as-is condition. There's no mortgage company involved, there's no bank involved, there's no thorough inspections, there's no appraisals, etc. So that in of itself, you don't have to fix this property up. That's a huge amount of money. If your house needs work, I don't suggest taking on these repairs yourself unless you're an absolute professional contractor or something like that. I don't know if you've been to the Home Depot lately, but things are very expensive. It's very risky for you to put a lot of money into these properties, and that would essentially come off your bottom line as well. If you can sell the house in its as-is condition, alleviate yourself from any repairs at all, and then close on the date of your choice, there's a lot of convenience that's baked baked into that offer. So yes, a cash offer is oftentimes going to be less than if you listed with a realtor right before all the fees and stuff like that. But when you factor in the convenience, now you got to ask yourself, is that fair? Well, oftentimes it's yes. Oftentimes it's fair. If you don't have to fix anything, you don't need to clean anything, you don't need to haul anything away, you don't need to pay any closing costs, you can close when it's convenient or flexible for you. So there's a lot of convenience that comes with working with a direct buyer. That's exactly what we do. We're a local company. We have hundreds of reviews and testimonials of people just like you that wanted to sell the house. They wanted to get a fair cash offer. So we look at it. We're fully transparent. We're going to let you know when you contact us and we make an offer on your property, we're going to show you how we're coming up with the numbers. We're not pulling any punches. We're not a magician just making up numbers, pulling rabbits out of hats over here. This is very transparent. We're going to show you exactly apples to apples, oranges to oranges, what other cash transactions are happening in the immediate area. And we're not even going out 5 miles or something like that. We're looking block by block here, and we're going to give these addresses to you. I'll go through this right there with you because we want to make it fair for you, and we of course need to make it fair for us. There's going to be a lot of convenience baked into this. It's going to be very easy for you and for many, many people. And like I just mentioned, we have hundreds of reviews and testimonials. For many people, this is the best way to go. And for many people, when you factor in all the costs of a traditional sale, you're still walking away with a better net figure. It's a better, more net money in your pocket if you just sell it as is to a reputable home buyer like us, and that's exactly what we do. So if you have a house and you're looking for a fair cash offer, contact us today at 614-300-5151 or visit us online at sellhousecolumbus.com. And by the way, when we get on the phone, it's a super easy conversation. There's no games or gimmicks or sales tactics. We just need to know more information about the house and then know more information on your closing timeline so we can fulfill your needs. There's never going to be any pressure. There's no obligations to just see what we can do for you. We'll go through the numbers with you. Everything is very transparent. So if you have a house anywhere across Ohio and you're looking to sell this property, get a fair price and sell the property to a legit cash buyer, contact us today at 614-300-5151 or visit us online at sellhousecolumbus.com. My name is Dave Perichin. I do look forward to speaking with you, and I look forward to working with you.